I think you should actually show him the view that we've got.
Yeah, show them the view.
Yeah.
Look where we are, John. You'll love it.
Hello, mate. What's going on? Behind the banner.
And then the guys are
Beautiful. Very nice.
largest amount of exposure as we can for the awakening.
Nice. I've got to ask, did y'all anticipate the press that you're getting from this announcement yesterday?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, in the sense we expected to get the press. No, I mean, we've had like over 50 outlets all over the world, India, Netherlands, Germany, like loads of people picking up. Then the sub discussions that come off the back of it has been incredible. So, there's been thousands of likes and comments on like Variety's Facebook page, for example, which, everyone's, it's a debate, and there's 75%, 80%, which is like really in favor, relaunch Kevin Spacey, where's House of Cards, like where's all this, where's that, which is great.
It definitely feels like there's a time for a comeback for Kevin right now.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, everyone is super excited and keen. And obviously, sometimes things go round in cycles with people that are unfavorable. And ultimately, now I think he's ready for his comeback without a doubt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's been great.
Well, I got cold chills, and I think about you, Justin. And if you guys are just joining, this is Justin Tinto and Matt Hookings. They are live in Cannes currently right now. They had a big press junket come out yesterday about Kevin Spacey joining the cast. And I got to ask you, Justin, that, when you write a project, and I've been in this position before, and you have some success, did you have a feeling last night of excitement, of cold chills, of all this work you put into this film? Like, it's a game changer, right?
Absolutely. I've actually got chills now again with you, John. Like, as you were saying that, I'm feeling it. I have to say that when you start seeing the reality of the people that are behind it and everyone trying to get the word out, and it just concretes everything and the hard work, the 4 years that I've been putting behind this, from writing the scripts, getting the right team and having the right team coming to me. Yeah, it's been an absolute blessing, I have to say, John. This is just the start, and I think that awakening is going to be here for a long, long time.
And he deserves it. He deserves it. He's been working very hard, and it's like Justin said, the hard work that's gone into is crazy behind the scenes. We've put in a lot of hard work.
See, I hadn't been in the process of the whole film process before, and I had no idea how much work it entails. And I do take my hat off to Matt, because he's done it like 7 or 8 times before, and he's obviously made my job as easy as possible. It is a lot of work. And therefore, if you're doing something like this, I wouldn't call it work. It's a passion project, right? And I love it. So I think for you to take on a venture like this, you have got to be fully committed, love what you do, have the right guidance, and just know that you're not going to stop until you get the job done, because there are hurdles that come up from all different directions. You have no idea what 1 minute we can be both high-fiving, the next minute we can be holding our heads, but we're staying positive throughout this whole experience, and we're doing well, aren't we, mate?
Feels good. Feels really good.
And anticipation. I mean, for you've got a fresh company, Camelot Films, and the anticipation. You go into this, and I've been in the movie pitches. I've been in television, developed TV shows. When you go in that room, sometimes those 10 or 15 people in that room, might shoot down 2 years worth of work. But in this situation, y'all had full control, and you still have the same anticipation, but the unknowing, right? The unknowing before this positive press information comes out. And today, what is the feeling of no press, and then this press comes out yesterday? What is your feeling as, almost a new company, Camelot Films, have done some big projects, but what is your feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, I don't believe in like overnight success. I've had my company since 2013. It's taken a long time. I started it when I was in my early 20s. So, and I've had various projects. I've had highs and lows, and I'm kind of sort of adapted to that. But in terms of like you said about being in TV pitches and stuff like that, the great thing about this, we haven't had to do that, because obviously we've had full control. And honestly, people don't like saying this, but most people will always say no. It's very rare do you actually get in with the right people or the right studio or the right partner, especially making a film, and they say yes. I mean, it's never happened. It's never happened to me. And that's why I created Camelot. That's why I created my own work. That's why I've created my own brand. That's why I started writing my own projects and producing them, as well as acting and keeping the passion. the great thing about that is it leads you down a path where you ultimately have control, and not control in a way of trying to control everything for ego or for power, just to control, to believe and stand by what you're creating and what you're making. And I think that shift is happening. So I feel great. I feel great with this because of the nature around the fact that we've made a conspiracy thriller action film that we've made ourselves, controlled ourselves. We've built all the PR and marketing ourselves. Yes, we're going to need help, and we want distribution in the widest possible manner. But just the fact that we've been able to like create this all ourselves and without a studio backing, without tons of money, and I think that is going to have its own story in itself, because when people realize that, wow, these independent, filmmakers have done this guerrilla marketing campaign and managed to do all these different things. I mean, look, we're behind a massive banner in the front of Cannes with QR codes that say, do not scan this video, like just really smart, intriguing, enticing, like marketing, which again, I've never had the luxury of doing before, because you release a film with a major distributor and it's like, okay, you finish the film 2 months later or 6 weeks later, the film goes out, and there's no time to build the audience. There's no time to build the marketing. There's no time to build the interest, the excitement. It feels great. And it feels like we are doing something which is causing a shift and a movement in an industry that's very, very much needed. We are stepping outside the box, and the box is broken. It's the only way to kind of summarize it.
Well, John, as you know, there is an awakened community right now. The Great Awakening is happening on so many different levels. And I think we're plugging into a specific market that really wants to help push that awareness of people, that we are divine, we are our creators. And ultimately, we're not just making a movie, we're making a movement. And that's when we're getting real traction, and we're actually seeing it through our marketing materials, as Matt said, through our guerrilla marketing campaigns. And there's a lot more that we are doing.
That's another tagline. We're not just making a movie, we're making a movement. Yeah.
We're making a movement, and there's a lot more that's coming, our way at the Cannes Film Festival, which is different to the normal strategies of the indie filmmaking. Is it the end of the large studio films where they're, just regurgitating products because they're just needing to get the bottom line? Are the audiences right now, and I believe they are, bored of these ginormous films when there's at the sacrifice of a story and a meaning behind them? And that's our market. That's where we're trying to reach.
But when you think about this too, let's say we look at the music business, and the music business dynamic has changed a lot, and it's about going viral. If you go in the music business and you make a song and that song goes viral, then you got a real shot at getting a deal. And I think that's the world we live in, is things that go viral. Now, if you look at this as something new, innovative, and different, has there ever been a movie that's come from the bottom up that's went viral like this to give you some foundation? Like, this is a kind of a new thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I was completely inspired when I was writing The Awakening by The Sound of Freedom. This was a film about child trafficking with a really true message to make awareness for that. It's about the freedom of children. I saw the similarities that ultimately there's the freedom of humanity right now that's, with basic freedoms of speech or body autonomy or, freedom of movement that's been suffering. And I think that's where The Awakening comes, with making awareness for that. So yeah, totally 100%. I mean, The Sound of Freedom was a very, very successful film, and it competed with the bigger films of the time because it had really an important message. And, that inspired me completely. And that, Angel Studios was, a great part of that. And that inspired me as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's happening less and rarer, predominantly because people are now watching films and consuming content differently. So, it just goes on streaming, and then the next week another thing's on, or the next day more new content is arriving almost instantaneously. Whereas, you would wait for the next week, or you'd hear about a movie and be so excited to go and see it. So it's happening still, but it's rare. And it takes a group of people like us who, would have nothing to lose to kind of go out, like I said, put Kevin Spacey in a film and take a risk and a challenge on making something that's kind of quite controversial, or something that people wouldn't want to
A man that's been attacked by the system and ultimately been proven innocent and who's lost everything from it. We at Awakening, believe in giving him this chance moving forward. And we're really pleased that we have.
Well, when you think about the name, I mean, you have to have a vein of relatability to go viral, right? You have a message, you're teaching people something. Do you think there's a big thirst? Do you see a bigger thirst for this type of project than you thought you would see?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we've just gone through 4 years of absolute craziness with COVID, where we've actually been locked down with, people have been mandating for us to take medicines, and our entire lives have been changed, and we've been stopped from going to work. We've stopped our, freedom of movement, and ultimately, since that, people are questioning things. So I think that when we are at dinner parties or at dinner, people are always talking about things like that now, whereas they didn't used to talk before that about so much conspiracies but more and more conspiracies are coming to light, whether you're talking about the, chemtrails in the sky, which every conspiracy theorist was laughed out the room. And now it's actually being, talked about in government. And then UK, they're blocking out the sun. I mean, we are at a time where I think we're in an emergency state. And I think that people are becoming more aware of it. And this is a film that helps people that aren't quite awake to wake up, and also to help people who are on the cusp of wanting to do something about it, to maybe push them to do something about it as well.
And I think for me, the crossover of audience, John, between film audiences and conspiracy theorists, there's a real sort of hybrid, kind of like a breed of audiences, which you bring them together. It's quite electrifying, and you can see the community online that's commenting and voicing their opinion on it. And it doesn't always have to be, one side or the other causing a debate. You mentioned going viral. Things that go viral are quite often things that cause a debate. You have a group of people on one side that agrees with it and another group of people that don't. And that's kind of what films are about. You create opinions, There's some people out there that hate The Godfather, and there's a lot of people that think it's the best film ever made. So this is what we're really tapping into. That's exciting.
Now, Justin Tinto and Matt Hookings, they are in Cannes right now promoting their film. Now, they just had a press come out yesterday about Kevin Spacey joining the cast, being in the film. How did this come together yesterday? And did y'all decide or have this plan to release this information yesterday about Kevin Spacey?
I think it was planned, but it wasn't planned as extensively as it came about. We boarded with a sales agent. The great thing is we boarded with a sales agent who loved Kevin, because, there were some distributors and sales agents that were sort of afraid or concerned about taking the project because of Kevin. And, we wanted to stand by our decision to bring him in the film. And we boarded with a sales agent. There's the film festival's obviously just started today. And it's a perfect opportunity. No one knew he was in the film. It wasn't on IMDb. We didn't do any press before. It was all sort of under wraps. And making an announcement when we've just finished the film that Kevin's in the film at the film festival in Cannes to trigger sales and distribution and interest, I think was the right move to make, because this is where right now the world is watching film for the next 2 weeks. You've got everything here. You've got Mission Impossible launching. You've got Spike Lee's new film with Denzel Washington. You've got, all eyes are on the Cannes Film Festival now for the next 2 weeks. We have sort of set a stone, the sort of foundation of like, okay, these guys are here, and this is their film.
We're here, guys. We're here. Now, Justin, I hear some big names, and I was kidding Justin on another interview about his great pictures on IMDb, but he is the lead of this movie. And you hear some big names. You hear Kevin Spacey. Matt just mentioned Spike Lee. You wrote the film. You're the lead, one of the leads in the film. I mean, how does this make you feel to say, hey, this is my breakout role, and I'm side by side these type of figures that are actors?
Well, it was an absolute honor to be able to be acting with such legends, I have to say. It was something that when I set off with my journey, I didn't think I was going to get the opportunity. But again, when all the stars aligned and Matt came into my life, he had a lot of connections with yeah.
And we're getting married tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. All our podcasts are together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he managed to, obviously because he'd worked a lot with the cast before, and he obviously knew how amazing they were and great to work with.
Well, it's not just Kevin, it's all the other people as well. Peter Stormare.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was meaning. Yeah, Peter Stormare, Alice Eve was absolutely incredible. You know, when she came and we were reading the lines at the start, I was just couldn't believe the amount of energy and the fact that she could relate to the character so well because one of her best friends is very into conspiracy, so she really could relate to the character energy and the intention behind what the film was saying and talking about and the message that she was trying to bring. And obviously, she also understood some of the conspiracies and had her own opinions of them as well. I mean, one of the major actors was Stephen Burkoff, and he's been he's a legend. At acting school, you're learning about the Burkoff technique and things, and he's working with me, and we're doing together face to face.
We've got two legends in the film,
Yeah.
John, and when I say legends, veterans that have been in the industry for 50, 60, 70 years. Burkoff and Julian Glover, they'd never done a scene together. Stephen Burkoff is 87 and Julian Glover's 90. And they've been, in the industry for 50, 60 years and never done a scene together. And this was their first scene. They've both been Bond villains. They've both been in the original Star Wars. Sorry, Julian Glover was in the original Star Wars. Stephen Burkoff, in
James Bond.
Yeah, like crazy
Clockwork
stuff.
Orange.
Clockwork Orange, and just Barry Lyndon. So bringing them together was a really nice moment. People only care about people at the time and what's active and current now, but for us that was a real moment on being able to
stars of the golden screen
them
together. I mean, I when they were saying my words, I mean, there's nothing else you can say. Then it hit me so emotionally that I wrote these words and these guys, and they're very important words in the film. It's probably one of the most intense scenes where some people that know what it's all about, and they were saying my words, and they were just showing, their expertise, the way they deliver the lines, the timing, their everything. It was just mind-boggling for a young actor like myself. Well, not so young, but 90 and 87.
Hey, you look great. You look no more than 35.
Hey, I'll take that.
Now tell us a little bit about Alice. It's Alice Eve in her career, just so the audience knows who she is in the film.
Yeah, Alice was in Star Trek, which did the
with Chris Pine.
Yeah, which did really well. She's done loads of stuff.
In the City.
Yeah, she's done loads of stuff. She's been around for a while and done a lot of really, really big things. I'm trying to think of something else that she's been in. But yeah, Alice is great. When you see her, you recognize her, you know who she is. She does a flawless American accent as well, which is great. She's British, but she does a really, really great American accent. Happy to have her.
She really cared about the scenes. She really cared. I mean, she wanted to get the best out of every moment, and she was great to work with.
She was in Men in Black as well.
Oh yeah, Men in Black.
Now, Eddie Hall's in the film as well. Now, did anybody feel the strength of Eddie Hall while they were filming the movie?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I went sparring with him during the film, which was a really kind of, I know it sounds crazy to say go sparring with Eddie Hall, but it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed it.
Matt, obviously from his prize fighter days, from the boxing that he made with Russell Crowe, he's made of steel. He was like, I've got to man up. I've got to get in the ring with him. And I was hitting him as hard as I can. So I would probably be worried for
Eddie's a big boy, but no, and then you got Justin. It was so funny. I'll let Justin tell the story, but I'll give you the intro. Justin, me and Justin were originally going to have a fight scene at the end of the film. It was I play a villain character. Justin is obviously the lead, and we were going to have a fight scene, and we were getting very excited. And do you know what? I think I said my idea last night. I said, look, why don't we have Eddie have the fight sequence, and that's just going to be like an unbelievable moment for Justin to have a fight sequence with the world's strongest man. And Eddie's not just Eddie wasn't just the world's strongest man. He's got the hardest punch right now ever recorded. Arguably, he's got the hardest punch, the hardest punch right now. I remember Justin kind of going, "Oh, that's a really great idea, but I don't know if I should do that because."
No, I was like, "Let's get Eddie Hall. Yeah. This is brilliant. I'm up for fighting him." And then the day comes for let's start rehearsing.
Yeah.
I was like,
and you don't realize when someone's that big and powerful, and he's not just strong. He's like, he's insanely strong, right? The strongest guy, he's 5 times stronger than him.
He lifted 500 kilograms off the floor. Like that's
so. When Justin started rehearsing, it very quickly became a reality. Like, oh, I've got Eddie Hall throwing me around. And do you know what? Credit to Justin. It did take a couple of days, but I remember turning up and watching the scene, and I remember just Justin looking there. Him and Eddie are prepping the scene, and I saw Justin change. And then Eddie afterwards, he said, that's the Justin we want. He's going for it now. I said to Ed, is he going? Because obviously film and stunt work is very different to, your usual fighting. So you've got to be technical, but you've also got to, show that you're using your strength without trying to use your strength. And even Eddie said,
no, but on that, he's trying to use his strength. The first thing we did, he was like, right, okay, I'm the world's strongest man. I need to lift you up by your throat. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to hold. And the stuntman goes, okay, cool, that's cool. So without any like, let's go, let's practice. This is what you're going to do. He literally grabbed him by his throat and lifted me up. I was like, oh my god! Because like obviously in film you sort of have to hold arms, and there's a special way that you learn. But man, after that I was just like, oh my god, this guy is the strongest man. He just literally lifted me up off the floor. So yeah, it was seriously intense. It was seriously so much fun, and he was great.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
He's a bit of a BFG actually, isn't he? He's a big friendly giant. But yeah, you wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of any. It's for sure.
Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the film Awakening, and Justin and Matt are in Cannes, a film festival, the next 2 weeks. Now, tell me, today is the first day of the festival. Tell me what you guys have to do the next couple of days to promote the film.
Yeah, we've got crazy meetings, a lot of events. Obviously, you can't see the back of my shirt, but we've got all the Awakening merchandise and everything on there. Justin's going to show you stand up.
Nice.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of things. We got our whole team here. There's like 10 of us. We can't say. Yeah, we've got two more surprises happening.
Yeah. But you're going to be
in the next 10 days.
You're going to be told all about it,
which is going to be really cool. Yeah, it's promoting the film. With our sales agent, we've got a nice gathering where we're going to show the trailer to some select distributors and buyers. Yeah, it's crazy. We got magazines and flyers and galas and, all the usual stuff. So it's going to be...
Well, we partnered up with Awakening Souls magazine, and they're doing a special edition for everything that's relatable within their world for the film industry, which is absolutely fantastic. The team has been working so hard to get it done in such a short period of time. We've come up with a I think it's 60-page magazine that's for Awakened Souls. It's got various cast discussions and interviews from the film. We're going way above and beyond for an independent film to make a shout. We've done flyers. We've got business cards with barcodes. We've got barcodes that link to stories and
all the merchandise,
everything. We've thought of everything.
Nice. Well, before we get off here, I want to ask one more question, is because I know y'all have a lot to do, and if there's anything I missed, please speak up, or anything you want to mention while we're on the live feed. When people go see this movie, the quality is great. Camelot Films did a great job. I mean, I'm a stickler on quality. I mean, I can see micro things, and it really looked good. It looked exceptional to be an independent project. When people leave the movie theater or leave, watching this on whatever outlet they watch it on, how do you want people to walk out of the theater? What do you think the mindset will be?
Well, I hope it's the same as when we did the first reading with all the actors, which was, oh my God, that there's debate, there's discussions, there's excitement, there's going to be reality checks, there's going to be moments of confusion, maybe moments of slight concern, moments of, oh my God, I feel like we've lived through this. Could this be real? Is this real? It might be real. All of these different questions. And honestly, when we read the script, it was, people were constantly talking for about an hour or two afterwards about the film and about how each person could relate to their experiences within the film. And that is what I want. I want people to start questioning, what they've been told. I want people to start, maybe start doing their own research into certain things. I want people to come out and say, holy shit, I loved that part of that film. And it was a great film as well. I want them to have a good experience from, an hour and a half film of just being like, we did it justice, and we didn't waste their time.
Nice. Matt, anything else you want to put out there to the world?
No, yeah. I want people to enjoy it. And it's really hard to kind of, we can't write in the credits how much work has gone into it, but I hope people enjoy it and maybe do a bit of backstory on, wow, these guys really, really put hard work into it, and, get given the opportunity to do another one and go bigger.
And on that, this is a trilogy.
Yeah.
The second one has been written. The third one is halfway written. Obviously I'm doing that.
Awesome. Well, can't wait to see the Awakening movie. I'm happy for you guys, and congratulations on the big day yesterday and the continuing. press I'm sure you're going to get through the next couple of days. So I know that feels good. And this has been Justin Tinto and Matt Hookings from Cannes Film Festival. I'm John Edmonds Cosma, CEO of Bang Productions, owner of the TikTok Live Creator Network Agency, and host of the Unimpressed Podcast. Until next time. All right, guys.